My name is Isabel Barrera, and I will be presenting on Ann Bancroft. She was an explorer, educator, and advocate for women and girls. Her resume overview. This is kind of our little layout for the presentation. Her demographic information, work experience, organizational affiliations, accomplishments, skills, awards, milestones, and hobbies, and then references. Demographic information about Anne. Her name is Ann Bancroft. She was born September 29th of 1955 in Minnesota. She is an American polar explorer, teacher, author, and advocate for women. Her education is BA in Education at the University of Oregon. Her current focus is empowering girls globally through exploration, education, and STEM-related initiatives. For her work experience, she was a word that you're going to hear a lot as I keep going, a polar explorer and expedition leader. So she's the first woman to reach the North Pole, which happened in 1968. She led the first women's expedition in the South Pole in 1992, and then she completed the trek across the Antarctica with Liv Ernison in 2001. And then, most importantly, she is an educator. She's a former school teacher working with children with learning disabilities, and then educational programs designer and global youth mentor. She's also a author and public speaker. She writes and speaks about exploration, STEM education, girls empowerment, climate change, and leadership, and presents internationally to schools, universities, and organizations all around the world. Her organizational affiliations, she is a co-founder of Bancroft Explorer, BAE. She is an inductee in the National Women's Hall of Fame. She's a founder of Ann Bancroft Foundation, which offers grants to girls in exploration and personal development. She's a member of the Explorers Club, and she is part of the Global STEM and Environmental Education Organization through partnerships. This picture down below is her making her trek across Antarctica. Just a handful of her accomplishments because she has an insane amount. She was the first woman in history to reach the North Pole. She is the first woman to ski across Antarctica. She co-led the first all-women team to the South Pole. She founded a global foundation supporting thousands of girls. She's inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. She's honored by the National Organization of Women. And she is a global advocate for girls all across to education and adventure, or a global advocate for girls' access to education and adventure. I apologize, my cat just jumped up and distracted me. Skills, awards, milestones, and hobbies. Again, this is just a handful for each section because she has too many to put on here. Her top skills are her leadership skills, team building, outdoor survival and navigation, public speaking, curriculum design, advocacy for girls and women. Awards and milestones, just a few. National Women's Hall of Fame, Explorers Club, Lowell Thomas Award, multiple honorary doctorates, recognized globally for advancing women's representation and exploring in STEM. And then her hobbies: hiking, skiing, camping, writing, environmental advocacy, and mentoring youth. 5 ways that she is an example of our course concepts and connections. Number one, gender socialization. She is the definition of traditional gender expectations. She's defined all of them by entering male-dominated fields like polar exploration and wilderness leadership and becoming a role model for girls worldwide. She is an example of breaking gender barriers. She faced skepticism and resistance as a woman explorer, yet she broke major gender barriers by exploring the first woman, or by being the first woman to reach both poles and lead an all-women expedition. She's the example of empowerment for women. Her foundation funds girls' dreams from sports to science, empowering young women to take on challenges commonly discouraged by girls or for girls. She is the example of representation for women. Her achievements increase the representation of women in exploration, outdoor leadership, and STEM and adventure storytelling. And most importantly, she is the prime example for social change for women. Her educational programs promote global social change by encouraging gender equality, environmental care, and leadership opportunities for girls. Jobs that she would be qualified for today. The job title I kind of put together for her was STEM Education Program Director for Nonprofit Executive Directors for Girls Empowerment and Outdoor Leaderships, just based on her own nonprofits and foundations that she has going on. She's the perfect fit for this role. She has leadership experience. She has the education background. She has the advocacy experience, communication skills, global perspective, and the commitment to gender equality. A summary of Anne. She is a pioneering explorer, educator, and advocate who broke major gender barriers by becoming the first woman to reach the North Pole and later leading all women expeditions to the South Pole and across Antarctica. Her work as a teacher, expedition leader, and founder of the Ann Bancroft Foundation reflects her commitment to empowering girls and increasing women's representation in STEM and outdoor leadership. Her life connects to key concepts such as gender socialization, gender barriers, empowerment, representation, and social change. With her leadership experience, educational background, and advocacy skills, she would be highly qualified today for roles like STEM education programs director or executive director for girls empowerment organizations. These are my references, and thank you so much for learning about Anne with me.